Alright, now we're going to get to what I was explaining to you about circulation, blood flow. We want to control bleeding. Very first thing you want to do whenever you have an injury to yourself is you want to apply what's called direct pressure. Let's say I cut my hand or my arm. I'll use my arm as an example here. Cut it right in here. I want to apply direct pressure, be it with a piece of material that's just laying around, like I have my handkerchief here, bandana. I'm going to apply direct pressure. Well, I'm going to hold this for a couple minutes. It's all dependent on too how deep the wound is, how susceptible you're going to have with just direct pressure alone. If for some reason this is working, what you're going to do is after a few minutes you're going to let the bleeding stop. You can go ahead and just leave it alone. If it's a dirty cut, you may want to take the time to go ahead and flush it out with some clean water, put some ointment on it, and then dress it. Okay, we went ahead and we applied the direct pressure. For some reason that doesn't seem to be working. What we can do next, in the meantime while I'm getting gear ready to do a pressure dressing, I can go ahead and elevate this and bring it upwards. I'm going to go ahead and just open up a bandage here since I have one for this demonstration. While this is elevating, I want to keep it up above the heart. This is not going to be any easy of a task being it's an upper extremity. If it was a leg, it'd be easy because I have both hands to do this. I'm trying to show you the difficulty you're going to have with doing this one-handed, so that's why we're doing it this way. So we have this elevated. Go ahead and bring this down, switch it out with this bandage. And now I'm going to go ahead and apply my pressure bandage. Now the man's probably wondering what the hell I'm doing. He's able to look through the window. So this is not going to look pretty by any means. What you're trying to do is have this bandage right on top of where the bleeding was. It's amazing how much of a pain in the butt it can be without both of your hands to stretch yourself. You're seeing I'm twisting it. The reason I'm doing that is that's able to give me a little bit more downward pressure over the wound. Try to keep the 4x4 over. You may have to reposition this. A little more difficult. It felt a lot easier. But there, right there is your bleeding circulation. I'm trying to make this quick because I do have to get my daughter off the bus here in about 45 minutes. I got time. We're going to go ahead and take this bandage off real quick. Alright. We discussed D for deformity, fractures. Fractures my arm. If you can, if you're going to use natural material from the woods, if you have some extra clothing on you, try to pad both areas. You can see this is not an easy task to do on yourself on an upper extremity. If it was my lower, it'd be a whole lot easier. I can use that sling that I used on my wound. I can use my cravat. Or I can use an ace bandage. We use this a lot of times for sprains, but it's also very good for splitting an injury. I've never had, fortunately I've not broken a bone, so never had to do this out and build for myself. So this is going to be just as well a learning curve. Something I didn't bring up whenever I was showing you folks. This is getting filmed. Let me get a look here. Yeah, it is. It's pointing down. Sorry about that. With this, for splitting, as well as with your bandage, is make sure you have a pulse above where you've put your dressing. You want to slow down the bleeding, but you don't want to eliminate the pulse. You don't want to lose your hand. So the same token with my arm here, I've split my fractured arm, my upper arm. I want to make sure I have a pulse. I want to have my hand someday to use it. But same thing I showed you earlier with the sling. Now I have the ability to walk around and continue to do my thing, make a shelter if I can't get myself out, make a fire for warmth, make a signal fire, get somebody's attention in order to come get some sort of help for myself. So that's deformity. Like I said, this is just a brief demonstration of what you can do out there to protect yourself. That's the key. Prevention does a lot of good. This was not very hard to do to myself, but I shouldn't have to do this to myself. I just take precautions. What I do, watch where I step, watch how I hold my knife, watch out for dangerous animals like a snake. Snake bites, all you're going to be able to do for yourself out there. A lot of people say, oh, I'll just make a cut, suck the venom out. Hey, you doing it. Venom, 90% of the time the venom is, believe it or not, dry. And then a snake is not going to waste its venom on a human where he knows he's not going to be able to kill you. He's not going to eat you. The venom he's saving for the small creatures, be a chipmunk, a mouse, or something that he's able to eat and have a meal. A lot of times it's just going to be a dry bite. But what can happen, even if he does not get any venom out, is swelling. So you want to loosen any constrictive clothing. So loosen your belt leg. Because most likely you're going to be bit down here unless you're an idiot and you're down there trying to pick up the snake here, getting a bit in the arm. If you have short sleeves, then you're not going to have to worry about that. Just stay calm. Get your cell phone. Go out to your car. If you're not too far, get yourself some help. The big thing, like I said, stay calm. Take it easy, relax. So, okay, real quick, I'll give you one last thing while I have this handy. Let's say I just sprained my ankle. Get off my gaiters here. Sprained my ankle while out walking. That's the legs. Wrap over, around, yes, I have both hands, but still, I'm not used to doing this to myself, so do it to my patients, but not myself. All we're trying to do is give some stability to loose to the strain. Alright. Simple. You know, you don't have to be fancy. I'm a little more fancier in the field when something's minor. If it's something's going to kill my patient right then and there, I'm just getting down, doing what I got to do, not making it look pretty, just doing what I got to do to stop the bleeding, to stabilize the injury that's fractured. So like I said, if you're going to use splitting material, try to pad it with something. It's a lot easier to walk around with. It isn't going to dig into your arm. If you have to do it with somebody else, it's going to be extremely more comfortable, especially if it's a long leg and it sticks all the way up into here. You don't want this thing to be digging into your groins the entire time you're walking to that. So take the time to pad it. It's going to cause less damage to the tissue around it and a lot less pain and aggravation for you. you can give the person, if they're not allergic to ibuprofen or aspirin, go ahead and give them something like that to help with the pain. But you do want to watch out with aspirin, though, because it is an actual blood thinner. So